Okay, we're here at Texas Frightmare Weekend 2009 with the legendary Marilyn Burns, all right, of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Marilyn, how does it feel to be here talking about this film that you did back in 1973?
Who would have ever thought that would happen? It's amazing to me. It still is.
It's awesome. I mean, and you know, we've talked about your performance, you know, earlier today, you and I mean, you conveyed such panic and terror and such in those final frames. I mean, as an actress, where were you drawing from?
The whole situation on the set.
Right.
The heat, the frustration, the
Texas filmmaking. Yeah, exactly.
It didn't take much to get it. Yeah.
But you know, I think it's amazing that this film has gone on to become such a mega cult hit. I mean, really. And I think when you guys were making it, I mean, there was no way you could have known that any of you that it was going to be.
No, we sure didn't. I mean, I just wanted to see it to get to the screen.
Yeah.
Most people just thought it was never getting anywhere.
Right.
So the fact that it still stands today and people still watch it, it's
pretty amazing. It's fantastic, and it's a testament to what is Texas independent. It's proof that a low-budget independent film can rock.
It does show you that.
It does.
Even though Hollywood wouldn't recognize it for years. But now it's in the AFI,
right.
Mama.
Exactly.
It's huge, but for years they wouldn't even acknowledge it existed.
But you know, I mean, I know that you went on to do Eaten Alive, also directed by Toby Hooper, and it was shot very differently. It was on a soundstage, right?
Oh yeah, that was real different.
It was a much more controlled kind of environment.
Definitely.
I want to pick up where we left off and talk a bit more about Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter, the miniseries, your character is a fantastic portrayal, and I think it's really great because, you know, within horror films, independent horror films, the roles now, and even in Chainsaw, they were so complex and they had layers, okay? And there's a lot of drama involved in horror, and people don't always know that, you know? And you gave a tremendous dramatic performance in that feature film, the miniseries. What was that like?
Oh, well, thank you. First. That was totally different.
Yeah.
Because I'm not playing some made-up character. I'm playing a real person that's still out there.
Yeah.
And because it was still so many years close to the actual happening, you wanted to be as accurate as possible.
Sure.
I had to figure how you could understand her. I know CBS, Lorimar, Bugliosi all needed an angel at Linda Kasabian. I'm thinking, how can a lady that's been there both nights of both murders, the only one that's there both nights, thank you. So if you didn't get the idea the first night, if you're going to return the second night, you know what's happening, so don't sit. But yet she comes off as a little sweetheart.
Yeah.
And that one was hard for me at first as an actress to figure how to do that.
How to portray that,
and I came around and got my way, but it did. But then, of course, and then seeing Steve Railsback play Charles Manson.
Oh, wow, that was terrifying. And I was going to ask, it had to be kind of terrifying, you know, as actors.
He was terrifying, amazing.
You know, as actors, people say, oh, in a horror film, you must have been terrified. It's really never scary on a horror film, but when you see somebody as intense as Railsback, as Manson, a figure that is,
could be, I mean, that was one performance. And I remember in the courtroom scene.
Yeah.
I mean, this is live, watching him jump over the table.
Makes you want to run.
It's not a movie. It's there.
Real.
And you're just amazed because this isn't something they created out of the fictional imagination of this happened. And so the whole horror of the whole incident was pretty
terrifying.
Pretty terrifying.
You bet. Well, Marilyn, it's a pleasure meeting you, a pleasure having you here at TFW 2009. And by the way, because independent films are exploding, this lady, great actress, legendary, you're ready to work, right?
Oh, definitely.
For folks like myself and others. And quite frankly, young gentleman, Roger Scheck, that I talked to you about, he's already called me. He's like, I've got the screenplay for Marilyn, okay? Apart, all right?
That's wonderful.
So we're going to be talking, all right?
All righty.
And you're a sweetheart, really.
Well, thank you.
Marilyn Burns, TFW 2009. sweetest lady, most talented actress you're going to meet. Hey, we're here at TFW 2009 with Terry McMinn, legendary star of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Terry, what was it like back in 1973 working on an independent film that's become a cult classic?
You know, it was so exciting. The day that we started to shoot my death scenes, it was beyond exciting for me. I'm an actress who wanted to work. I was involved integrally in the filming of those scenes.
Right.
You get to show your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so grateful to be chosen, you know.
Right,
although
right.
we were very hot the whole time. But I must say that, you know, I had so much fun filming that.
Sure.
And then I'd go at night and I did Lizzie and the Rainmaker.
Right,
so,
right,
I mean, I'm
right.
getting to go
Two
from
polar
morning till
opposites.
night.
Oh, yeah.
And that was such a great role, so I can't even tell you. I never knew what would happen with the film.
Right.
I know we were committed, even through the breakdown, losing the money, getting more money.
Right, right.
But we finished it, and we were all so committed to it, and I'm very proud of our work.
Absolutely. You know, and the fact that the film, what, over 30 years later, right? Wow.
35 years.
Oh, gosh.
This is our 35th
35th anniversary. You know, the film still packs a punch and has a massive worldwide following. There's no way you can know that when you're making any film. Certainly not the independent film. You guys probably thought, hey, we're going to make this film, it'll play a drive-in or two, come and go. Who knew, right?
We didn't even know if it would get out.
do it again.
Right, right.
But today, I have fans all over the world on Facebook and MySpace. I have fans that when I was in Italy, they weren't really talking to me very much, and I'd say, do you like film? And I found out the name of it was Non aprite che la porta.
Right.
Don't open the door.
Ah.
And so I said, oh, do you know that film, Non aprite che la porta? And they'd go, yeah. And I'd say, oh, that was me on the meat hook. And they'd go, yes. And they'd start pouring me wine. And I worked my way across
So suddenly
Italy.
they knew you. Okay.
They loved it. They loved it.
Well, when you guys were filming that scene, I know that you told a very funny, interesting story.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you said the meat hook sequence wasn't that difficult to shoot, you know.
Yeah, it was heavy.
It was that famous dolly track sequence leading up to it because Toby had you in the hot pants.
He did.
Right?
He had me in when my cheeks were, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And I think your mom maybe had some issues at that time.
Well, my mother was extremely, did not want anything like that to be occurring with her daughter.
Right.
And I walked out to the set, Dottie's putting on my makeup, Dottie Pearl, Daniel at that time, his wife. And I said, out of the corner of my eye, I saw that, you know, Daniel under the swing with the camera. And I said, Dottie, what is Daniel doing under the swing with the camera? And she said, oh, I don't know. She was in on it. Daniel had thought of this shot overnight where they're going to follow my butt up to the house. And so I marched over to Toby just harumphing, you know, thinking of my mother and my Aunt Jerry, you know, and I said, oh, no, you know, what are you thinking? What is that camera doing under the swing, Toby? And so we had all of these, you know, for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We were, and finally he said, oh, Toby, damn it, Terry, we're going to cut around it, you know. So I noticed that they did cut all around my ass. But now, today, I sell that shot happily. And I say, hey, can we get that butt shot?
Can we get that butt shot?